Welcome back to another episode of We Don't Judge, and we're gonna have a lot of these story times, a lot of the best story times on YouTube that you ever seen. So thank you for the support. I need everybody to subscribe to this new channel. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Okay, this episode we're getting into this beautiful female. She was going to Virginia State University, and she was in a domestic violence situation with her boyfriend, and things just got absolutely crazy, man. I don't know where some of these people find these relationships or find these people to date. Sometimes I think it's the zoo, because the way some people treat people is just like, they shouldn't even appreciate, they shouldn't have really got the love in the first place. But sometimes people show their colors later on in the relationship, and it just goes downhill from that point. So let's jump right in and see what's going down. And yeah, love you guys, and let's just build this channel up. All right, let's get it.
I want to tell you guys a story on when my ex tried to unalive me in my college dorm at the Virginia State University. I'm smiling because it's kind of hard for me to talk about, so bear with me. And quick disclaimer, this in no way has anything to do with Virginia State University. They did their part when this happened, so I just want to clear that part. So I was in a very abusive relationship with a student, football player, native actually of Petersburg, Virginia. We dated for about 2 years, and most of the relationship he was very abusive. But the particular night that I am talking about where he tried to unalive me, he came. Well, I don't even know how to tell story times. This is my first time, so please bear with me, y'all. It was one of those things where I couldn't say anything to him. And if you guys are familiar with domestic violence, you basically have to walk on eggshells when you're dealing with your abuser. So I know that this particular night I was very emotional. I was very angry with him because I was just tired. I was tired of being cheated on, lied to, and just abused. Like, this man would literally put his hands on me, like, in the most random moments. We could be at Olive Garden and he just would snap. It just didn't matter. And this particular night, I just remember being so angry, just crying all night long, because honestly, something in me probably felt like he was either cheating that night or I don't know. I think I just broke up with him or something to the effect. And I did it over text message. And that was my first mistake.
You don't want to be there.
When I finished sending those text messages to him, I went to sleep. I know I cried myself to sleep that night. And then randomly, I heard bangs at my college dorm room door. This is not the first time nor the first dorm room in which he has come to. He didn't even live on campus. He lived off campus. But the other dorms he has broken into, he has taken my clothes and thrown them across the bridge, or thrown them in the dumpsters on campus. He has taken like stuff out of my room, broken laptops. Like, this man would come to my dorm anytime. And honestly, like I said, that's my first mistake, even texting while I was on campus, because he was unpredictable. So this particular night, next thing I know, like I said, I wake up to banging on my door. Me and my best friend were roommates at the time, and me and her woke up to the banging. And I just remember it started off as knocks. And then I looked out the window, the little peephole, and I saw him out there banging with a hoodie on. And it was clear as day, because the lights in the hallways and the dorms don't go away. This was quads, mind you. My best friend and I wake up. She is like, what is going on? She already knew who it was, because he had a history of not just abusing me, but doing stuff to my friends too. So she was very much aware of who was outside that door, but she was asleep. So when she woke up and saw this man, heard this man doing this to the door, she instantly started freaking out, and so did I. So I answered his phone calls, because he was calling me at the same time. Oh my gosh. I'm not finna cry. He was calling me at the same time as he was knocking on the door, and I finally answered the calls, and he was saying he was going to unalive me. And he was saying that on the phone, and he was going into like all different types of things. But the thing about it was, he's saying it on the phone, but he's yelling loud enough for the whole hallway to hear. So my neighbors and I were very close, and this was a co-ed dorm. The boys who lived beside me were calling us too, like, y'all, what's going on? The girls across the hall were calling us, what is going on? This man is outside your door. What's happening? Mind y'all, it had to be like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And like I said, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, he's calling my phone, telling me he's going to kill me. He's saying all types of stuff about me. He's calling me all types of B's, all types of hoes, all types of every word you can think of, y'all. This man said that in the hallway, was telling all my business, saying all the things. He was making up lies. He was just saying all different types of things. He was just acting so irate. Next thing I know, the bangs got louder. I look out the peephole, y'all, and I will never forget it. This man had his pew-pew at the door, and he was banging my college dorm door, trying to get in, my best friend and I could not believe it. We could not believe that this man took his pew-pew out and was banging it on the door, y'all. Like, that was the scariest thing. Like, he has strangled me. He has punched me until I've passed out. He has thrown me across a parking lot before. Like, he has done all different types of crazy things, but it was always like sometimes behind closed doors, sometimes like random nights, sometimes like random parking lots and stuff like that. But I never thought he would go onto a campus dorm with a pew-pew. Like, that is crazy. Like, I just never thought that it would get to this point. My best friend and I go to the bathroom. She's pulling me in like, you cannot talk him out of this. And both of us just started texting our moms and telling our moms that we loved them. Y'all, we was 18, 19. We was texting our mamas that we loved them. Texting our dads, our siblings, I love you. We was saying that because we just knew. We knew that we...
First of all, the first thing that she did right was she was calling people, letting people know what was going on. You got to call 911. This guy has a weapon outside of your dorm, and he's willing to risk. You said he was playing football. He's willing to risk his football. I don't know if it's a scholarship, but you could just tell that a person like this is definitely sick in the head, and he's putting his hands on females. So he's definitely out of it. He'll do anything in a desperate point, and if you keep up with this relationship, it's going to get worse. So you did the right thing. Don't be mad at yourself.
We were fully aware of what was happening in that moment, and we knew that this was the last time. Me and her sat in the bathroom. If you ever been in quads at Virginia State, you know there's the room and then there's the bathroom. It's by the door. We put like our big organizer at the door because the way the banging was with the gun, we knew he was coming in soon. We just felt like the door was about to burst open soon. Man, we just stared at each other and just were crying and just like looking at each other like, bro. In my head, I felt so disappointed and so disgusted with myself because I knew that me staying in this abusive relationship is about to kill my best friend. Next thing you know, he pulls the fire alarm. So every student that lived in that dorm had to evacuate because the lights started flickering.
He's on some demon time.
The siren was going off. The lights are flickering. Like, it was crazy. It was the scariest thing ever. While all this is going on, I forgot to include my best friend is on the phone with the police. So I'm on the phone with him trying to talk him down.
Yep.
My best friend on the phone with the police, but they can hear what he's saying because I got it on speakerphone. And he's not calming down, y'all. You can hear people in the hallway. You can hear students in the hallway moving around. So you know that he's aware of where he is. He's aware that, like, you've taken this to the next level. You feel me? Like, he knew that at this point, everyone can see me with my gun in the middle of a hallway. And next thing I know, it gets quiet. A psycho. The sirens are still going. The lights are still flickering, but it gets quiet. Okay. And then the SWAT team comes. the SWAT team comes to our dorm door, and they're banging on the door. And part of me felt relief, but part of me was still very scared that what if he's in the dorm, because he has done things on campus to me before, in the stairwell. So what is it called? Whatever it's called. So I was scared to walk out the room. I'm literally shaking, can't really like catch my breath because I'm so scared of what's gonna happen when I walk out this dorm room. I'm freaking out. So like I said, my best friend, she's still on the phone with the police, and they're telling her go head out or whatever. So we're thinking we're about to be escorted because that's what they told us. Y'all, because they didn't know who had the pew pew, they were pushing us down the stairs because they didn't know who the issue was with. They were guarded up, y'all. The SWAT team was pushing us down the stairs. It was the scariest moment. We had on our pajamas, like we didn't even have on real clothes. And while we're being pushed down the stairs or whatever, we see the students outside. It was just so embarrassing. I'm gonna have to make a part 2, but if you want to donate to my nonprofit, I am doing a giveaway to a local shelter for domestic violence victims. Click the link in the bio so you can donate and learn more about what we do with 10%. I want to tell you guys a story on when my ex tried to unalive me.
Okay, so last night, after I posted that, I literally had a panic attack, guys, because that was very overwhelming for me to even bring those emotions back up, revisiting all the memories. But I was able to call my mom and tell her that I posted it. She doesn't have a TikTok, so I had to call my parents and let them watch it together last night, and they had a few things they wanted to add to the part 2. My mom let me know that after he left the dorm, he actually called her and threatened to unalive her and my father.
Crazy. Get this guy out of
my
here.
mom and dad called the police, and they let them know. And the police came to their neighborhood. They live in a suburban neighborhood, and they came to the neighborhood, and they patrolled the neighborhood. One cop car was in the front of the neighborhood, and one was in the back of the cul-de-sac. And my parents let me know that entire night they sat in the living room, and they waited. They just waited because they had no idea what was going to happen next. They had no idea that he had just did that at my dorm because there was no time to call them yet. So just to know that so many people were affected by this, and that my parents never told me that they were going through that night.
And they didn't take the threat lightly because he was known to do unpredictable stuff, like I said before. Like it's been a time where he's come to their home before and acted out. So they were familiar with this man's behavior.
Get him out of here.
And I keep saying this man because, like I said, I met him when I was 19, and I believe he was 23. Yes, he was 4 years older than me. And I also want to add to the part 2 that it didn't start like that. It started with love bombing. It started with gifts. It started with jewelry. It started with money, and he had a extra car that I was driving on campus. This is my freshman year, mind you. So it started with love bombing, and then it was just slowly progressing. Like it would be 1 minute the abuse started with, all right, I'm gonna yell at you. Then after yelling at you to see how far I could go with that, all right, then a small push, then a small shove, then a full mush, then you know what I'm saying, it just kept building up. The abuse just kept building. It wasn't one of those things where it started out with just straight trying to unalive me. It slowly built up, it slowly progressed, and most importantly, it was the mental of, you deserve this because XYZ, or the controllingness, the isolation, and like I said, the isolation and things like that. But yeah, if I knew what I know now, obviously I do things different. But I think it was the part of letting my parents watch the video and hearing their regrets and the things they wish that they could have done more. Girl, I ain't gonna cry. the things that they wish they could have done more on, and how they still feel like guilt and stuff from what they didn't do. That part is what is like was really extremely hard for me last night to like deal with, because it wasn't their fault. Anything that happened to me was not their fault. But I do want to say that they did what they could do, and I did what I could do, and I was able to find love again, and I was able to experience life again. I was able to like go through the process of healing. I'm not gonna say that like everything is like, I'm not gonna say that like it didn't affect the woman I am today, but I am no one's victim. I am a very resilient girl. Like I'm not broken because of it. I don't hate him. I don't hate anybody who enabled the behavior. I don't feel any resentment or any hurt left for it, if that makes sense. I just mourn the girl that I was before sometimes, but other than that, God has restored my peace. He's restored my joy. He has given me beauty for ashes, for sure. And that's why I feel like now, if any time, is the time for me to be an advocate for other women and men who may deal with a situation similar to mine. But yeah, like after all of that happened, y'all, years later, like we broke up like 2018, 2019. 2023, I moved to Houston. But in July of 2023, what was that, 3 months before I moved to Houston, he actually, mind you, been blocked for years. He DM'd me on Instagram.
What?
And said, "Isn't this your gym you go to at 5 a.m.?
Oh, he's still crazy?
He wanted me to feel like,
he's watching,
baby, there is no mountain high enough, there is no valley low enough that will keep me from getting to you."
All right.
And this is the person I'm talking about, you know. Same individual decided to find people that I was close to and follow them on Instagram so that they could repost him, and they did. I saw y'all. Found people I was close to, mutual friends, to post him. You know, he's doing favors for them, and you know they're posting with him and stuff like that. I saw you. I saw you, sister. I saw you, brother. I saw y'all. That's okay, you know. But I understand that was all a part of the abuse. Like, he was trying to still make me feel intimidated, inferior to him by staying close to people that were close to me, people that he didn't even know. So this is the individual I'm talking about, you know. And I am just grateful that I didn't stay in Virginia, because when it gets to that point where not only are you sending me a screenshot of my gym, you Googled my gym from pictures I posted on my story, to knowing the time that I go at 5 a.m. You send me that, like, I'm going to find you. And then you get in contact with people that are close to me so I can still see you on social media, even though you're blocked. I had a nonprofit event that same year. And he came to the event. Like, you know, stuff like that. Trying to make sure that I feel like I'm not safe. But when you have a favor, I'm literally like shaking, but when you have a favor and you have a grace over your life, that God's protection is so much greater than anything a man can do. I know for a fact that God's grace over my life is just different, because there is a lot of situations where people do not make it out of things like this.
Facts. People
do not live after things like this, and I am not only able to live, but to love again, but to enjoy life, but to become an advocate, but to become a nonprofit owner, but to go ahead, not only finish college with honors, but to also go back, get a master's, finish that with honors.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
the enemy will do the things to try to slow you down, but God, but his plan, but his protection, but his grace, but his mercy. And that is the hill that I will die on, is understanding there is grace over my life, there is protection, there is a healing power. He is still in the business of keeping, of protecting, of healing, of giving beauty for ashes. That is my testimony, to be covered by grace. So I appreciate all the support, the love. You guys have no idea. I didn't think that I would receive positive responses, especially from people who knew him or knew me. But thank you. Y'all have a blessed day.
Okay. A lot of things I have to say to this beautiful young lady going through that. Was it just the trauma that comes behind that, and just to fight your way to just keep your sanity and still love again. I commend you. Number two, I'm glad that you called the cops. I was hoping that the cops, and I was just so hoping the cops pulled up there the time when he had the gun out and everything. So now we'll see him have to deal with the cops. That's always the best way of going out. Like, if you want to be so tough, why are you not tough around the cops with the same gun that you trying to harm her with? You know, why? What would happen in that situation? That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to see. Like, since you so big and bad, when the cops come around, let's see if you still have that weapon out, and let's see how they respond to that, and then we'll see how this story ends. On another thing, I think he should be in prison and he should be in prison finding his new boyfriend, because that's what he needs. He doesn't know how to treat a lady. He doesn't know how to treat a girl. So I think he should be in prison with a boyfriend, telling his boyfriend all of this stuff that he was gonna do to her. Tell those guys in there that they like that type of stuff that goes on, and then see how far he get. Because that, and then after it all, you mean to tell me that he's still watching you on social media, seeing what gym you go to? And I'm glad you moved to Houston, man. I really appreciate stories like this where this, you don't come out as a victim, you come out as a victor, and then you take whatever you went through and you make it a part of your story, and you keep pushing up. Yeah, you got your masters, you got a lot going for you, fall in love with a real man and not a sucker like that. That's all I have to say about that. It's sad that people go through this, and everybody that's going through any domestic violence right now, these are the times where you have to get out that relationship. The faster you leave, the better it is for you, because the more you stay longer, that's gonna, your life could depend on it. You guys let me know how you feel about this story. It's a sad one, but it's also a very inspirational one, because not everybody has the strength like she had to get out and do it her way. Because he was even willing to hurt her friends and the people around. He was taking this in the public now. Some guys are delusional. I don't know if it's because their backgrounds they come up with, but don't jump into relationships with people that don't know who they are. If they don't know who they are, they won't be able to love you and love you for who you are. Till next time, it's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. We don't judge. Peace.